Okay, everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to talk about one of the most common problems that you're probably going to encounter when you're building your Polymer 80. Okay, and that's when you put the slide on, it's too tight. Okay, it won't even go back. It may not even go on. Basically, there is slide resistance, and there's a bunch of things that can cause that. Okay, basically, the first thing you want to do is you want to make sure that your channel is clean over here, right? You want it to be smooth. Um, you want to be able to take out your recoil spring. I got to work with the gloves on because it's like 9 degrees right now. So you want to be able to take your recoil spring and basically put it in there and see that it's going in smoothly without catching on anything. Okay, so when you're cleaning out your recoil spring channel, what I do is I you know I put the rails in first, right after I snip the tabs off. I put the rail in there. I use the clips to clip it out. Okay. Once it's out, I'll use the Dremel to clean it out, and I will use the rails kind of like as a guide rod. So I will go all the way to the edge. Okay. So if you don't have the rails in there, you might be concerned. Well, maybe I'm going to go a little bit too deep into the sidewall here. By keeping the rails in there, that ensures that you're not going to go past it. It doesn't matter if you hit the rails on the inside over here. The part of the rails that does the work is over here, right? The rails do the work out here. So it doesn't matter if you hit the rails on the inside with the Dremel. That's not a big deal. You need this to be as smooth as possible. You need this recoil spring to be able to go in there and not catch. Okay, if there's any material, especially on the bottom, it's going to make your recoil spring lift up a little bit. It'll push the barrel up, and that's going to cause slide resistance. Okay. Now, next most likely place to have a problem is that the rails need to be dremeled out a little bit on the bottom side, right, on the underside here. Okay, and the way you're going to do it is you're going to take the rails out. Okay, take your Dremel, take this square wheel, and basically just get under them on the underside, like that. Just get under them, work them, give it a little bit more space. Right, do it a little bit at a time. Right, get underneath it. Do that front and back. Now, usually when you put the slide on, you might get a sense of whether you got more resistance in the front or more resistance in the back. But this is one of the things that you will have to. Now, sometimes these rails, especially in the first half of 2021, Polymer 80 was shipping out some pretty crappy rails, and on some of them, I had to basically, in order to get the gun to work, I had to file these down to the point where these were like paper thin. And what I did is I sent a picture over to Polymer 80. I said, this is, it was not right. And what they did is they just sent me replacement rails. Okay. So if you have to file these rails down to the point where they're really, really thin, do it, and then send over a picture to Polymer 80. And, from that point, if they're too thin, they'll send you replacement rails. Okay. So that's how you're going to get underneath it. Once you get underneath it, put them back in over here. Put it on your sanding paper here. Run it back and forth. Take your level. Put the level. Use the front rails as the master rail, right? Because that's basically got two pins into it, right? So that's pinned down at two locations. Use the front rail as a master rail, and make sure the rear rail is level to that. All right, so that's how you get your rail straight. And just basically, it's a trial and error thing. You just gotta keep working at it until you get to the point where keep working at it until basically you give the slide enough space to be able to work. Now, another possibility is that your trigger bar, there's a problem with your trigger bar, and that the shark fin here is just a tad bit too high, and that's as that's going back and forth, that's pushing up against the bottom of the slide, or against the pushing a little bit too hard against the safety plunger. You might need to take you might need to take down your shark fin a little bit. Just make sure you maintain the angle. Don't go too crazy with it. If you have to do more than just a simple polishing, what I would do is I would just throw in another trigger in there, right? You take out this trigger bar, throw in another one, see if a different one from a different company will work better. Right now, parts are pretty cheap. You can get like these parts kits for like $40, right? In early 2021, the parts kits were going for like $100. So right now they're basically pretty cheap. So you know, these parts do wear out. Okay. Definitely recommend that you buy at least for all the Palm 80s that you have at least an extra one for each gun. Okay. Get them now. Get them while you still can get them, while they're because sooner or later, like if they come out, if something comes out in the news where they're going to try to make another push to ban these, all of a sudden everybody's going to start hoarding parts, trying to build these last minute, and the price of everything goes up. Okay, so right now, January 2022, the price of everything's gone down. This is the time to buy. Okay, buy cheap, stack deep. Okay, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you're not a member of the channel, subscribe, hit the bell button so you get the notifications. I'll talk to y'all soon.